You can see the presentation. Can you see?
Yeah. Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, so welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us for the second session. It's always good to have you with us and just to have some input from you and any questions. So thanks always for making time in your day. We always appreciate it. Yeah, so today you would have seen, I think, from some of the agenda that gone out, what we're going to be covering today, which is definitely some nice things, is looking at just to show you just a sneak preview where we are with the user roles. So that's been a big request is, we've got the general user roles and we'll show you just now, but maybe also just having a bit more flexibility around user roles. And this should be quite nice. It should give you a bit of flexibility to, like Luke was definitely mentioning in the first session, on selling more basic, maybe, static kind of websites where people can come and do certain things, but they're limited from other access. So we'll go through that. And I've got just a quick video to show you on that. We're just going to talk again just about the new and old site plans. It's something that we just cover. We want to cover as much as possible, just so people that don't always see the previous sessions get to see that. And just talking about switching to the new unit model. So just a bit of a discussion around that and any questions. And then we're also going to talk about Luke and the team at Sitegurus have just been working on basically to kind of look at seeing how Siteglide and Sitegurus can be not in sync, but just work closer together. So currently how it is, Sitegurus provides services to you agencies on Siteglide, but it seems like quite a different, it's quite separate. So we're going to show you just some of the branding changes we made. And we've also made some changes to just our support desk. So it doesn't feel like you have to go and speak to us and then go off and speak to Sitegurus and have the same conversation. I think that was quite an important thing for us, just to feel that you kind of, we do provide different support. One's platform, one's development service to agencies, but at least just an easier way to, deal with us and get in contact with us, or the Sitegurus team. We're also just going to open up and talk a bit about the reseller model and just see if there's any questions or feedback about the experience up to this point. If there's any other questions, I know not everyone here is on the new reseller model, but it's always just good to get some feedback from you guys. And then, we'll open up to our general, any other business, and where we just ask any questions. It's always a great time just to share knowledge, share questions with each other, just to see what other people are doing, or if there's general questions that if I can't answer, I can take back to Matt or Luke around things. Okay, so let me just unshare this quickly. So this is the quick video we're going to show. I don't have a live view of the user roles, but I'll talk you through it. It was recorded with Matt taking us through it. It was just a bit quiet, so I'll just do a bit of an overview of that. So here you can see here. So on the left, pretty straightforward and simple. Nothing's changing around users. But what we're doing is we're now going to incorporate user roles. And this is something that just gives you a bit more flexibility from either managing how your end user clients can actually access the system, as well as it just gives you a bit more flexibility on how you can sell static pages or static sites on that side. So you'll see here, so we've got the general user roles that are currently in use. So that's an agency role that gives you basically, you can access everything. You've got client, and then you've got client restricted. And we just talk about like a little example here, which is my role. So you'll see here, so Matt will take us through us. You can see the different user roles, and then you'll just click there. So you can see the first three are like default user roles because they kind of restricted, they locked into that functionality. If you go into either one, it'll show you. So like you can see now, it'll show you what exactly that is access. So this is agency. It basically has all the specific access. This is just the front end for now. So we are still just connecting some of the back functionality to it. So that's just like a general view. But then what you can see here is you can come and then create your own specific user role, okay? The nice thing here, what Matt has done, so you'll see, I think he goes through it to now. There's a button that says copy all permissions from an existing role. So you don't have to sit there and start from scratch. You can say, I want to have client restricted, but I want to add a couple more things to it. Or I want this agency, but I want to take a few things off. So it's quite a nice little function there where you can go and select the specific one that you kind of want to use as like a reference, a starting point. And then you can go and make all the changes you need according to that user. The one thing that's also really nice about this is that you can actually have kind of multiple roles applied to a user as well. I know you don't want to just make sure you don't overcomplicate that and have kind of contradicting things, but you can see here you can have like my role, but then you can also go and add another user role to a user. So for example, this agency user has an agency light like they just created. That shows the function that shows what access they have. So it also has the reference from the main users page, which is quite nice as well. And then you can see you can still go and add another user role to the same contact as well. So this is where Luke definitely sees some really nice flexibility. If you're trying to sell just static pages, simple things where people need to only have so much access, you can start doing that. Okay. Big thing to understand with this is just the first start of it. So it's not restricting you from specific web apps, for example. It'll be general to web apps. Okay, so that's kind of where we're looking for at the moment now around the users. But yeah, it's looking quite nice, quite easy to use, gives you a good view of what access, and then just the functionality of either building on or removing access from some of the default roles, and then applying more than one role type to a user if need be, if it's really quite specific. Okay.
Can we ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Just the last thing you said there. So like we can see the left column. I understand this is just in progress, so it's not finished. There's a whole bunch of granularity in the portal checkboxes, right? On the site side, which is certainly going to be the part that I think we're going to care about the most. Do you have any insight into, you said it won't be to restrict specific web apps. It would be like web app edit, web app delete, web app, like those kind of things.
Yeah.
Will we have similar granularity into like code snippets, system pages, system email? Like there's a whole bunch of menu items, right? That we could show or not. Do you have a sense of that at this point?
So I know Matt said once he'd done the front end and he was going to go link all additional functionality in, he said there would be other use cases that would probably come up that we could add. I just don't know to what level that he's getting to so far. So like how granular. Yeah. He just said like once he starts doing the back end connecting of, just the UI, he's probably going to have more other use cases. I just don't know if he might just be focusing on a general one and then a next release after that. So we have a feedback kind of task we always do on ClickUp. So I'll just add those questions to it and just mention that's what you're kind of asking, because you're wanting like granular down to different things on sites. Hey, that's what you're asking.
Well, yeah, I mean, like that's kind of so like the way user roles are now with client restricted and not, though, that's actually more powerful than what we see on the screen right now, right? Because on the site side, on the site column, the portal part we haven't had any control over, so that makes sense. I'm saying on the site side, client restricted, for example, hides the site manager, anything under the site manager menu in the admin. But like the reason I think a lot of us were asking for this task to get done is because that's very that's not granular. It's just like site manager is off limits versus like, I can enable code snippets for this role, or I can enable system emails for this role or whatever. So I think for this to be, I trust that Matt knows this, because otherwise I don't know why he would be, it's almost like it wouldn't make sense. But I thought I'd bring it up that just to make sure it's on the radar that like the granularity is going to be the real value here for us, I think.
Yeah. So I think definitely there will be some more options on the right side. I think maybe this is just where he is so far.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that
yeah.
I think that I think
I mean,
that's what you're probably asking. You're probably seeing pages create edited view, and
yeah.
it looks quite
But
yeah.
but tell him that this is a great, like, this is what I was hoping for with something like this, where we could toggle things on and off, and the ability to build our own roles is super great. I mean, I wasn't even expecting that. I was kind of expecting like a sliding scale thing. So those two things have surpassed expectations. And then just tell them that other feedback. Yeah.
And then because obviously from there you want to be able to manage those things, but then obviously have just a bit more specific, just more functionality down within that. I guess that's the main thing. So you just want to
I mean, the simple way to say it would be go into any Siteglide site, look at the main menu categories on the left. If you open one, can we toggle those on and off? Understanding that web apps are their own category, that's sort of like a global treatment of what we can do with web apps. That makes total sense. But yeah, I mean, like modules, site manager, reporting, CRM, all that's, CMS, those are the things that we would want to get granular.
So I definitely think, excuse my cat again. I definitely think that's part of it. I think he just wanted to try to get as much stuff done to show for the session, but I'm sure
that's great.
If the other, the other kind of client restricted and all that has that, I definitely think he's not going to limit it back on that. But I'll take those notes and I'll just confirm with him. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Perfect. Any other questions from anyone? Now, let me go back here. Yeah, so just on the next step, so new and old site plans. So we always just want to, like I said, we always just want to make sure we are talking about the new site plans. So just for anyone that's in the session now, or anyone who's going to be watching the session after. So we've moved now from having separate usage tiers. So previously where you'd had storage, records, all of that was separate. Where now as all the different storage tiers are all built into one, which is units. So that's always just something to keep in mind. We look at units. And this is a discussion like I think myself or Luke have had recently is sometimes if you compare the old packages with the new ones, it doesn't seem as much as a total because you might have a higher flexibility on one thing on the other. But we've looked at it, and by having it grouped together, because often what would happen is sites would hit limits on individual kind of usage tiers. So it's definitely an improvement on that side where at least you can leverage off all your units. It's not just saying that, if you've got a site that goes over on one thing, it affects you to pay more. The key thing with this is also on our pricing page, especially for you guys as agencies, what we've done is we haven't provided all our packages here. So this just gives you a bit more flexibility around, how you want to charge the system onto your clients. And then another crucial thing that Luke also mentioned was that he wanted to provide an easier entry package. So previously the entry pack, I think the starting point was $50, whereas now it's $25, which gets you in the door with clients. And like I said, with those usage roles now, even if it's a small basic static site, maybe not much functionality, just to get the client in the door and then build onto that. And that's kind of the crucial thing we had when we wanted to make sure we had a cheaper entry-level package. Another big thing to just remember, so if you ever need any breakdown of like the units, what exactly it means, it's all broken down as here. So records, database items, email, storage, API calls, and then your SSL or your domain doesn't get added to the units. Obviously, depending what package you're on, you get that SSL, the domain with it as well. Keeping in mind that emails and API calls reset every month. So that always gets reset and changed, where your records and your storage will also will obviously be more consistent instead of same, or will either grow depending what you're doing on the site. Okay. Another thing also just to understand, so we will be sending out some comms, I think, in the next week or so. When Luke, we actually going to, on some of the old sites, if you're on the new reseller plan, it won't really affect you, but on some of the old packages, when Luke was dealing with Platform OS and we were looking at all our billing and how we were going to improve billing just from a storage or the unit side, Luke and the team actually stopped charging for storage. So we are going to be going back to charging for storage now, but we are going to be sending out comms to everyone. So we should be sending out comms before the end of this month, and then we're going to give you up until September to look at your storage, to either try clean up your site, and then by the time October comes, because obviously it'll be built in of what usage, then you'll be charged extra from November. So you've got September to look at your sites. November is when October will be the month that they get charged for. So if you over usage in September, over into October, if you over usage, you'll only get charged by November. So we will be sending out comms around that. It's not something that's just going to happen. Just expect an email, and we'll be reaching out to specific clients that are maybe more affected where they have got more storage. We'll be reaching out to clients as well. But yeah, we just wanted to give you a recap on that, just to rehash the discussion around why we have gone the way we have with pricing, how it benefits, and then also just a bit of a talk about the pricing we have on our site, where we don't mention every single package, and it just gives, we want to make sure it also allows you as agencies to have a bit of flexibility between the different packages you offer on that side. Okay. I'm not sure if there's any questions around.
I got a question.
Yeah,
if I might. With the storage, the records, is there a way to manage the records? Like, for example, if a client has outdated database records, let's say a contact form or something of that nature, is there an easy way that they could purge that? And by purging that, would that reduce that down for them? I'm thinking it's similar to like some of my clients, their email storage fills up, and then I just tell them, go back and delete all your saved emails that you don't need. That has solved their issue with their storage. So is there a way to do that?
Yes.
Or is that
no, you definitely can do it. We do get that question quite often. Keep in mind, firstly, is database records is separate from storage. So that, like, if you're talking about CRM files or form cases, that's separate as records versus it won't be part of storage. But obviously, if you're on the older packages, it might affect that. But you can go into any of your form cases or into CRM, and you can do an export of those files, and then you can also do a bulk delete, which is not too hard at all.
Right, that's right. I remember seeing the bulk delete. Okay.
Yeah, and then yes,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. I think when you do that, it will keep a bit of a historic record. I think there's a 30 days after you delete something. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, there is a bit of a fallback there, but yeah, you can definitely bulk delete if you need to clean up some stuff or remove old images or unused, storage assets.
Right. And then the other thing, and I think you mentioned it, is you're not displaying all of the plans. You're basically, because I see there's mini, there's growth, there's scale.
Yes.
Those are still the same price, and that's like, are the other plans available? If they click on that, they're going to find that those are available, or?
Well, no. So when, obviously it depends if they come in as an agency or as an end client. So that it does show in our interface, but obviously if they're coming, if you bringing them on, they won't see that on that side. Right. So yeah. So you're referring to these plans.
I mean, it's rare that I have a client go directly to Siteglide and dig down and look at prices, and because we always add value onto everything, but
Yeah,
well, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I see on my end. Are they going to be able to see all of these? They're not.
What, on the website or in the platform?
Yeah, on Siteglide's website.
No. So we're just showing the essential, the launch, and then we talk about enterprises. So then I think the strategy behind that was just to give you guys a bit more, because you can either sell it as this, but you'll bulk on your extra services onto it. So yeah, they won't see that. And also what we're doing is, and I will talk a bit about now, especially around around the Sitegurus stuff, is when anyone inbounds to us through our CRM, we can see the person, We can see if they're added under a site under your agency. We can see all that information linked. And what we'll either do is we'll always provide support and service if it's platform related, but if it is having to do with extra work, we would recommend and refer back to the agency.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. So yeah, that's just a bit of a rehash around the new units, obviously talking about total units. If you ever have any questions around units or how that works, reach out to us and we'll be happy to assist. And then what we'll talk about very quickly. So
hey, Colin, real quick, sorry. Yeah. So the writing here says that storage is counted in units, but you're saying that when the reseller calculations were done, storage was taken out of that mix and then it's going to be put back into the mix.
Yeah, so so I don't have the context on when it started, but it sounded like it was paused at one point. So it's charging overages on storage.
Yeah.
Where it will affect people more is people on the old plans, because when we do that, on the newer side, it's a little bit different because everything's bulked together for the new
a unit.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're referring to the non-reseller plans, the original plans. Okay, got it. Cool. I'm not on that, so we can. I don't want to slow us down. Okay.
Yeah, you would only charge more if your site went over the total units versus just a storage tier, because we have got clients that are on old packages, which are the multiple usage versus just units. Okay.
Got it.
Cool. And then the next thing we wanted to talk about. So let me just show this here quickly. So one of the really important things that Luke's been working on is, like we said just now, is we wanted to make sure that when you are dealing with Siteglide and Sitegurus, is we want to make it feel like you're not dealing with two different businesses. We are the same, but we are separate. We want to make it easier for you to reach out and get assistance when you do need it from Sitegurus. So a couple of the things that we've done. So you can see here, just from a branding perspective, we've kind of aligned things like the similar font, almost the same font family, just so there is a bit of synergy on that side. And then what we're also doing is, we obviously on this plan now to just help agencies get the most from Siteglide. So the first step with us was we wanted to rebrand Sitegurus to the Siteglide family brand, but retain the green. So that's this here. You can see it's the same font, but we still have the different kind of branding. Both teams can now assist seamlessly with incoming requests. So if I go here and I'll show you in Sitegurus. So if you're in Sitegurus here, this is just on the dashboard. You'll see here the bot that pops up. It goes through to myself, Luke, and also the guys from Sitegurus, just so we're not, you're not having conversation with one group and then having a conversation with another group. Everything's just been brought together on that side just to make it a bit more seamless. Okay. And then also what we do is, we also want, so a crucial thing for us, and I think it was one of the things why we never kind of associated us with Sitegurus, is we always want to make sure, clients always go to their agencies. That's the main focus for us. But like I said, we've got our CRM and our bot system picks up where a person comes in. We will always, as I said, provide service to that person if it's platform related, but we'll always put them back in contact with the site owner and manager, which will be you, the agency. So, we are going to be putting steps in place to try, we don't want people coming to us. And it does happen. Like we had another client where they got someone else that wanted to do stuff on their site and that person tried to come in through us. So we will always let you know about it. We always will, make sure that you are the first person to deal with that. Sitegurus is just there to assist you as the agency to provide a solution to your client. Okay. But reach out if there's any, if there's any kind of things you're worried about. But as I said, we want to make sure that this relationship it's not cannibalizing anything. All we're doing is we're just assisting you and we refer your client back to you if they happen to inbound, which doesn't happen often. Okay. And then, so Siteglide resellers get the full offering and discounted rate. So that's something that's also Luke's working on, is that, our Sitegurus probably offering to general people, and general end clients or businesses are probably not going to be as cost effective as it is to you guys, because we want to make sure you get the value from that. So that's something we're working on as well, on that side. And then also just to try to see how we can, with Siteglide, with Sitegurus, how we can provide extra services. So things like trainings, like modules, like the stuff Matt Jones at Sitegurus has done with the email CRM for SendGrid, and exactly that. So we want to be able to add value, create extra services, and then obviously help let Sitegurus benefit your relationship as an agency with your clients. That's the main overall focus around this. Okay. And then, yeah, I think that is, as I said, it's just like building free modules like Site Builder and open source solutions, because that's going to give you more functionality within Siteglide, and that's going to bring more value to your clients on that end. Okay. So any questions around Sitegurus or anything on that side? Nothing I guys can think of. Nope. Okay. And then, yeah, I think the next basically discussion is just putting it out there to anyone on the reseller. I think probably from everyone here, it's probably just Devin. But I'm not sure if there's any questions or feedback around the experience so far, Devin, or how things are going. I know we had a couple of questions. Yeah, we had a couple of questions. Yeah.
It's simpler for us. It's a lot simpler for us. For those of you that I don't know, we've always marked up the cost of Siteglide, and we charge support packages outside of that. Some of the higher support packages, we include the Siteglide hosting fees in their package, but that would be like several $1,000 people. The people who are paying $500 or something like that would be still paying for Siteglide. So it gives us much more flexibility. The basic concept, you may all know this, but like the basic concept is that your agency basically pays for a bucket of units across all of your clients. So if you have 20 sites, like you're going to have a site that's going to use a whole bunch of units, and then you're going to have 6 or 7 that don't use a lot of units, but you're benefiting from the bulk pricing because that bigger site is bringing the overall price of the units for all your clients down, but we don't change the price for our clients. Our clients are still paying the rates that we were paying. We're just getting more profit in each of those lower tier clients, if that makes sense. We don't charge less than $50 for even the lowest like mini plans. And one of our bigger clients is like enterprise, use a lot of units. They're paying like $250 or something like a month, like that. So that's like the range that we're talking about. So I have actually, it's been on my to-do list for a while to go through every one of our clients and see how much our profit margin went up when this kicked in, but I haven't done that yet, so I can't actually tell you what that is. But I do know that we're making more money than we were before, and we have one bill from Siteglide every month, and it's simpler. We can itemize, we can see how many units each site is using still, so we can adjust things accordingly. But we've sort of built our own pricing structure around Siteglide hosting, so that's how we're doing it.
No, that's good to hear. Yeah. No, I think when I heard about the pricing change, it made a lot of sense. I think just being able to group all that, and you'll see that here. So you pay per instance. So each site you pay an instance and a domain, and then you pay a certain rate in your units. I think you're able to see this reseller page. It should be showing, hey?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see, so it's tiered. You pay, the first 1,000 units at that price, next up to 5,000, and as you get bigger, the price gets basically less. So it's a bit of just economies of scale by grouping your units versus, and then like you said, if you've got one person that is maybe quite close to the tier where other people are lower, it kind of levels off your margin within that, because some are only using some of the units where someone else is using a lot. And then once you have that client that's close to their package, you can upgrade them, and then it becomes another jump in some nice margin and profit, which is quite nice. So Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah, I think like some of the questions we're getting around it is, maybe just and I've taken some feedback. It's just how eventually how we're going to start providing access on the API for, pulling the data for sites, how we can, other ways of sending notifications to clients, on their usage as things change that way. So we are getting a few different questions like that, Devin, just around from some of the guys in Australia. How to manage and track, when their plan goes up, or, how do we connect to an API? Maybe if I want to set up a webhook when something happens, so I'm aware when someone jumps, and that's the kind of
versus going and checking it. Yeah, I can understand it.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the next place we're looking at doing that, and that's going to add some nice, just some functionality around that. So that's also really good. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're liking the pricing ways, and also, yeah, I don't know. Before my time, hearing about the different invoices always did sound quite interesting, about having so many, how to manage it, and so having one is always great.
I mean, and in reality, unless you have like a super active business site that's just changing a ton, like every month, you resetting their plans, like the plan they're on, like Michael just mentioned, like cleaning out case records. We do that with some of our clients to keep them on the plan they're on. But I mean, that conversation might happen once a year, like maybe, if that. And if we're doing what Michael's, referring to with like regular cleaning up and exporting the records to Google Drive, and then just, I mean, it may not happen for a long time. So,
I used to do it with Business Catalyst. I would clean out a few of my clients. Like I had a dealer, a used car dealer who would sell a bunch of cars that they'd upload. After a period of 6 or 7 months, they'd be reaching their storage peak. So I'd clean them out. But question real quick, these reseller plans, you're only able to see them if you sign up for the reseller option?
Yes. Okay. So when people sign in, they choose if they're an agency or not. And then they only see that from that aspect. So we do limit what we call as like businesses and agencies, because agencies are.
I guess I originally signed up as an agency, and I had, before I was doing the commission stuff, and I've got to convert 2 of my clients over probably just to the regular plans. I'd love to be. My goal is to try to sell more of the Siteglide sites, but so the reseller plan I'm not sure about, but at this time, but if that changes, I'm sure.
How many, Mike, do you mind sharing how many sites
I
you have?
2 sites right now.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. Got
3
it.
technically, but
cool.
I'm trying to get more because I want to move.
Well, I think that's also a big reason for the change in the billing, is to give you that extra bit of, as you start getting that benefit of the bulk pricing with the units. So that's something I think we must aim for, Michael, is to get to that point where you are bringing a couple of extra clients, getting at least into that range, and then it really benefits like some of that pricing. So reach out to us if there's stuff you're looking for, if there's questions around something around a client you're trying to land. I think that's, I'm always keen to learn and hear what you guys are doing. I think also it helps me learn and understand from Luke's aspect, from his experience as well. So reach out if there's anything, and that's also, I think, a big benefit on I'm not sure if you use on the Discord channel yet, Michael, is just the general like questions channel where you can ask the whole community, I've got this client, we need to do this.
I usually go into the chat, just talk to Luke. And then Sitegurus also has, pretty good answers. And so
exactly.
I was just in Business Catalyst, I was just letting my clients mostly pay for that. But then I would mark up, I'd just do a retainer per month that would handle everything else. And then that worked out okay because of the billing hassle. But then I have another platform. I'm not going to mention it, but they switched over to where I can, I have to do all the billing now through Stripe. And so it's not a big deal. I've got that all set up now, but I haven't really converted that to Siteglide. Siteglide, I kind of have a lot of my high-end clients on it because it's just got way more features than the other platform I use. And so I'm just trying to move a lot of my clients. I'd love to be able to move all of them, but I mean, where I live, sometimes I get a client who just wants a basic 4-page website, and you're just like, okay, well, I think Siteglide might be too much. However, the essential plan looks enticing because then I can hook them into that plan and then they can always upgrade. So
yeah, and that's something to think about is like Sitegurus can also help if you want to look at migrating across. That's something they also help clients with. So have a look at
they're
that,
really
see
good
what
about that stuff.
Yeah, so and I think having it all in one system, I think that's also a benefit from our side where we would want to do it, is that the more we offer
As long
you
as it doesn't shut down, because with VC I had about almost 50 sites, and then when they shut down, it was a big panic, and so I had to, come up with a solution for some of them. But that's water under the bridge now. We've gone through that.
We're not.
I have faith in Siteglide, so
Yes, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere.
Yep.
But that's good to hear. I think that's some of the stuff.
Yeah.
So have a look at that and see if it's worthwhile, and look at the package pricing if that gets you in there, and then discuss it with us. We can always have a meeting to chat about it.
Good. I mean,
Okay. But cool. Thanks for the input. And as I said, if there's any other questions, just reach out to us and we can take it from there. Okay. Let me just take this. Okay, and then other than that, I think it's really just, I'm not sure if there's any other general questions. Are there any questions around clients you're trying to get on? Are there any sort of frustrations? Anything I can take, if I can't answer, I can take back to Luke and Matt. But feel free to let me know if there's anything that you are busy with or you're finding a nuisance around. Silence is also good.
I don't know if you had any insight, Colin, into the outage. No, the outage stuff from last week. Did we already talk about that? We didn't.
No, we didn't. Yeah, that'd be kind of.
No, so I know Matt was trying to find out where there was. I must just see if he did give feedback somewhere on Discord around that, but I know they were reaching out to Platform OS just to understand why we're having, there were quite a bit of instability at those few days. I'll check that, and then I'll just check exactly if he's still waiting for more feedback around that. Did you have a specific client that got badly affected or trying to get at the system at that time? Or?
Yeah, a few. I heard from a few clients that week, but and then there was an issue with exporting records. Platform must pushed a
change to
like a change live without notifying, whatever. That was resolved. Matt's always super quick about resolving these things when it's in his control, but it's not been all in his control at all. So that's fine. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to talk more about it if there's not more to share, but if he follows up on any of that in Discord, that's good enough too.
Okay, but we'll let you know. I'll just see if he has any more feedback around that. Because I know a lot of it was, I think, still API drop. So I remember seeing that issue you had with that change on the export, and I think it was taking a while to export. Hey, you said like 20 minutes, or it just wouldn't finish. Hey,
it just never did. Yeah, it was broken, but he fixed it last night, so it's back up and running.
Yeah. Good. I'll ask them, and then we'll let you know if there is any specific updates around that. Okay.
Awesome.
Obviously,
cool.
Yeah. Obviously, uptime and that is always crucial to us, and we'll always be pretty honest if it has something to do on our side or if there's something that's general from Platform OS, and we always want to make sure there isn't, any frustration caused or anything. But we'll always give you the info.
Okay. Great.
Perfect.
Awesome.
But everyone, thanks so much for your time. I know everyone that joins, and David and Tilbin and Alexandra, thanks everyone for joining. It's always helpful, and it's nice to have that input, and always feel free to, as I say, just reach out to us. It's great to have you on the sessions. We always want to get information from you, how we can make the system better, and also just make your lives a bit easier. So always helps.
What's your cat's name?
Awesome. Everyone have a good day.
What's your cat's name?
I've got one's called Fitch and the other one's called Leeds. So it's in South Africa. We've got a type of tonic called Fitch and Leeds. My fiance is a big gin drinker. So
awesome.
We've got Fitch and Leeds. Yeah, and then our other cats we got are Chai and Java. So like tea and
perfect.
coffee.
Cute. I'm a dog guy, but cats are cute.
Thanks, Tilman. No, we also dog people. We adopted 2 pit bull cross staffies about 4 or 5 years ago. and I never had cats. So,
Yeah.
and they've just completely changed my whole perception on cats.
Yep.
They're
Oh yeah,
incredible.
cats are totally different from, and they're a lot of fun, but
Yeah, very, very cool.
sometimes high maintenance.
Yes, they act
Dogs
high
are easy to
maintenance.
distract.
Yeah, no, exactly. But
Squirrels.
Mike, yeah, Mike, thanks so much for your time and
Thanks so
thanks for
much.
joining again. We'll chat
Yeah.
soon. Hey, thanks,
See ya.
Alexander.
Take
Cheers,
care.
David. Ciao. Bye.
Bye.